get Pentagon Jr. in a match. And Hitman will get one of his men in a match. Random opponents, and they might learn how little chance they have then. Hideo Itami taking things one step further and maybe sending him a message. Baslzer versus Storm signed for TakeOver. We will have the number 1 contender to the NXT Championship decided here tonight. Jeff Cobb is the number 1 contender. And Cobb walking to his champion. Maybe walking to the crown he will hold after TakeOver. Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is NXT. Well, last week was a big one for the NXT brand as they head towards NXT TakeOver Chicago. The night before Money in the Bank, we learnt last week that the number 1 contender to the NXT Championship will be Jeff Cobb. He will fight Brian Cage, but tonight the focus is on the tag team titles. We saw the meeting between Bret Hart and Matt Hardy last week. They said the 2 of their men would fight in random matches. And for that, Noam Dar will square up tonight to open the evening against a random opponent. Pentagon Jr. will close out the evening against a random opponent. I do not know who they are. I have not been told who they are. I don't know if one has been chosen by the other or not. I don't know how this works. All I know is that 2 matches here tonight. We don't know the opponents for 2 sets of matches. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And we're going to be kicking things off right here and now with one half of the challenging team of the new foundation. Noam Dar will square up against this man. You see Bret the Hitman Hart not at ringside. Apparently Bret is coming up with some sort of game plan ahead of TakeOver, coming up with something to make sure that the new foundation walk in as challengers and walk out as champions. So that should be a very interesting evening. I'm looking forward to seeing what that has in store for us. Not only, of course, at TakeOver Chicago, but here tonight. Of course, we know as well a few other bits and pieces that we're strapping ourselves into. We have, 3 matches confirmed for TakeOver now. We have the tag team title match. Last week, of course, we also got confirmed that Shayna, Baslzer, and Toni Storm will go one-on-one with one another in a rematch from 2 weeks ago on NXT. And there is the man that Noam Dar is going to have to deal with. Jay Lethal coming towards the ring. He was involved in that fatal 4-way bout last week. He was pinned by the winner in Jeff Cobb, but everyone put up a sensational fight in that match. Everyone had a claim to win it, but in the end, it was Cobb who claimed the victory. But a good chance here for Lethal to rebound from that loss. Like I said, Lethal gave it his all. He was damn near close to winning, and I think everyone got in at least a finisher in that matchup. There was Tour of the Islands, I think twice. There was a brainbuster from Ishii. There was a lethal injection, and there was a skull-crushing finale. Everyone put on a sensational main event last week, but here tonight it is about rebounding for Jay Lethal. And he is going to be getting in the path of someone, of course, who is looking to not rebound, but rather to keep the momentum going on their lead-up to NXT TakeOver Chicago. It is of paramount importance for Noam Dar to get a win here tonight, and what an opponent it would be to get a win over as well. Jay Lethal, I had talked for so many weeks about how Lethal had such potential to be world-class athlete and just always seemed to be kind of dropping the ball piece by piece. But since WrestleMania weekend, he's woken up, he's finely tuned, he's back on the edge, and he's back to being at his, I wouldn't say his best yet, but he's right nearly there. He is that close to being back to the Jay Lethal that still, to my knowledge, holds the longest United States Championship reign in this universe. But all of what I said could be for nothing if Noam Dar is able to beat Jay Lethal here tonight and cause an upset for Lethal as he looks to bounce back from his loss last week. I do wonder what is in store for Pentagon Jr. later on this evening. Could it be Jeff Cobb? Could it be Ishii? Could it even be Brian Cage himself? Or will there be someone else in store? Maybe The Miz? I don't know. I really don't know. I have just as much knowledge as you do. I know the other matches going on tonight, and I know the Pentagon Jr. is in the main event. I also know that we'll be hearing from the number 1 contender to the NXT Championship later on this evening. Brian Cage had something that he wanted to say before TakeOver. Big time exploder suplex in the corner there by Noam Dar on Lethal. Got all of that one. Goes into the cover here after it. Looking to put away Lethal. Kick out early on. These are two incredibly talented in-ring workers. We saw Noam Dar putting his pieces together 2 weeks ago. He rolled up Juice Robinson in the tag match to become the #1 contenders. He didn't try anything flashy, he didn't try anything out of the blue. He just went in with the roll-up and it worked. And that was all that mattered, was getting that victory via that roll-up. Lethal now. Oh, great counter by Dar. Looked for a back suplex. Dar flipped his way out of it. Rake of the eyes from him as well. And right in front of Nese hits a lovely suplex. I'm going to work on the arm of Jay Lethal here, looking to wear the man down, looking to put the hurting on him a little bit. Trying to take away that lethal injection maybe, trying to take away the power of Jay Lethal in this one and make sure that he can have a chance at taking out, when he takes out Lethal's offense, to slip in with a quick win maybe. Oh, Lethal going to plant him into the mat though, face first, and go into the cover for the rebound from last week. Oh, close but no cigar. Kick out at 2 and Lethal cannot believe it there. Jay Lethal though might be in position. Might try for the figure 4. Might try for it. Grabs the leg. Great counter by Dar there though. Knows his way out of submission holds. Does Noam Dar, and he did a great job of slipping his way out of that one. And the turnbuckle now. Clothesline into the back. Now, oh, went for a drop kick, and again, Lethal swats the drop kick away. Nice neck breaker there. Toni Nese getting a little bit agitated at ringside as he watches on. Oh, Dar with a huge hard shot in. Big time back suplex as well. Lethal coming down, looked like on the top of his head. Dar looking to capitalize, looked for maybe a submission hold. Might have looked to use Lethal's figure 4 against him. Couldn't. And Lethal retaliates now. This has been a fine contest to kick things off here in this episode of NXT. You've got to imagine that Broken Brilliance are watching on. Pentagon Jr. probably warming up for his match, but Matt Hardy having a keen eye on how this match will go. A keen eye as well on the game plan ahead of this upcoming bout. And maybe some strengths and weaknesses that they can take away from this match for Noam Dar. Good shot from Lethal there. Both guys trading hard with one another. Another neck breaker connected by Jay Lethal. Lethal has him again and plants him into the mat. Looking to put him away. Will he do it? Dar got the shoulder up, but oh. Nese pulling the referee out of the ring, but even though he did, Dar had to kick out, otherwise I think the 3 count would have been made. Jay Lethal now sweeps the legs, and he's got it. Figure 4 locked in on Dar. He's close to the ropes, but you can see he's trying to stretch, but he just can't make it. This time there is nothing that Toni Nese can do. Noam Dar fighting, trying to survive, but he has no choice. Noam Dar has to tap out here. And it's victory to Jay Lethal. A bounce back from last week for Lethal. Victory to Lethal. Unfortunate there for Dar. Nese tried all he could, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Lethal slips out with the win, and now the ball is in the court of the champions ahead of their title match at TakeOver. It's in the ball of Pentagon Jr. in tonight's main event. Fine match to get us going here on NXT. Jay Lethal, though, walking out with the win via the submission. Not good news for the challengers. Now we move on, though, to our first of 2 women's matches here tonight. And the first one involving Shayna Baslzer, who's going to go one-on-one against the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai, here tonight. And you see that woman accompanying her towards the ring, Mercedes Martinez, herself and Baslzer, joined forces 2 weeks ago. And they made their immediate impact on NXT. Baslzer and Storm met in the main event after trading words back and forth for 2 weeks. They met, they fought, and when it seemed like Storm could have had the match won, in came Martinez, and they ended the show with obviously a disqualification win for Storm, but Martinez standing over Storm as Baslzer was choking her out. Now Shayna Baslzer with a huge opportunity. She knows she's got Toni Storm at NXT TakeOver. But now I wonder, will there be any attempts here to try and set herself up for the future? To set herself up with Io Shirai, who does not have a match confirmed yet, of course, for NXT TakeOver Chicago. But we can all be pretty much confirmed that Shirai is going to have to defend that title against Rhea Ripley. I say that because there's really no other contenders right now towards that NXT Women's Championship. Storm and Baslzer are too busy at each other's throats. Martinez is too new, too fresh. She's not really ready. Charlotte's been beaten. Maybe the only other one who comes to my head right now is Wwe 2K19. But I don't think that Wwe 2K19 would want to fight Shirai right now. Maybe they'll set themselves up for a match in the future, but right now they're more focused on... Well, Wwe 2K19, sorry, is not focused on anything. But I just don't see anyone else right now. I think it's going to be Ripley. But of course, what we really need to confirm that is Shirai, Ripley, or the general manager saying something about it. If Ripley is to challenge Shirai, I'm certain Shirai's not going to turn it down. If Shirai challenges Ripley, Ripley's not going to turn it down. And if Logan Wayne confirms it, well, they can't really argue it. It's going to be done. So here we go now. Baslzer versus Shirai underway. These two women have met before in singles and I think in triple threat action as well. Irish Whip off the ropes. Sorry, not Irish Whip. Oh my god! Huge counter to Hurricanrana there with that power bomb. Test for Shirai. Of course, a loss here to Baslzer could change things for TakeOver completely. It could end up being a triple threat match for the title with Storm and Baslzer. Maybe Baslzer would have to do double duty. I'm not too certain how it would work. Nice work there from Shirai, though. Sweeps the leg away. Trying to work on the legs of Baslzer. Trying to keep her pinned down a little bit here. Maybe not the best idea. Baslzer on the mat would be dangerous to fight. Baslzer keeping Shirai down on the mat now. And going to work on the arm here. Not exactly going to take away the moonsault, but going to take away a few other moves. Cover made. Shirai gets the other shoulder up for two there. Smart idea from the champion. She gets the shoulder up, or the arm up rather, that Baslzer's currently working over. It's only going to do more damage to that arm. Maybe that's the reason why it wasn't such an emphatic kick out as well. Baslzer in control right now over the champion and making sure that people understand that that is the case. Again, Shirai up to her feet. Look to sweep the leg away there. Countered by Baslzer, countered by Shirai in turn, however. Shirai can't turn things around just yet. Double knees in the back now. The Queen of Spades is doing damage in this one to the champion. Ripley or not, she may be facing. All Shayna Baslzer seems to care for right now is sending a statement to Toni Storm, to the champion, and to the belt itself. Cover made, kick out early on there. Shirai in a world of hurt right now. That arm has been worked on. But here we go, the champion fighting back. And Destino from Shirai as well. Covers Baslzer, hoping to put her away. First big move she's got in this matchup. Look at this now. Has the legs hooked in. Drives her down into the mat. Great work there. Wow. Maybe even better in the kick out that soon from Baslzer. Counter from Shayna Baslzer, kicking the leg there. Elbow in the leg though from Shirai. Snap suplex as well from the champ. And she's going to go up high here. Could she already be thinking about the moonsault? Is she going to plan something else? She's calling Baslzer up to her feet. Won't be the moonsault. Could be dangerous. Meteora from up high. Nicely done indeed from Shirai, and here she goes now. Back suplex, quite high angled as well. Baslzer feeling the impact of that one. Look who's getting involved here. Martinez getting involved now. Getting in the face of the champion. opening up an opportunity for Baslzer, but she's staggered a moment. But Baslzer will take advantage. My goodness, what a German suplex there. And again, when she's in control, when Shirai is down, she has to take the opportunity to really soak it all in, soak in the arrogance from the crowd, or her arrogance to the crowd rather. Saito suplex now. Baslzer in control here over the champ momentarily, and look who's got an eye on this one backstage, peeking through the curtain from the set. From the looks of things, Toni Storm has an eye on the woman she's facing at TakeOver, and she isn't planning on looking away. But oh, she might have reason to not look away right now. Io Shirai, snap German suplex. Cross the arms over to beat Baslzer. Kick out at 2. Shirai thought she had her there. Not quite yet. Counter from Baslzer there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that roll up from Shirai. Great work. Will it be enough? And another kick out at 2. Shirai starting to get a little bit desperate now. Baslzer has put the hurting on her. This match hasn't even gone on that long compared to, say, Shirai's match with Blanchard at TakeOver, but it's certainly doing damage to the champion. And that might be a rather bad omen for the challenge for Toni Storm to take into NXT TakeOver. Baslzer maybe with some added training now that Martinez is by her side, and that's causing problems. But this is going to cause more problems for Baslzer. End of the match she goes. One move left for victory. Up high can only mean one thing. Moonsault from the genius of the sky. Cover from the champion. Io Shirai has done it. If Rhea Ripley is coming her way at TakeOver, well, this is who you have to put up with. This is the champion around here. And she just made that apparent with that win on NXT. Good stuff from the champion. Great stuff from both women. Baslzer sending an important impact, but still not on the champion's level. So, been a very entertaining night of action so far in NXT, and we move on here to a tag team matchup. This one's going to be a little bit more of a scrappy tag team match, I guess you could say. TJP and Hideo Itami will team up against the duo of Drago and Lio Rush. This is really surrounding Itami and Rush more so than anything. We've seen these last 2 weeks now. Hideo Itami has a very close eye on Lio Rush. We saw it 2 weeks ago. He was watching backstage after Rush had beaten... who had Rush beaten? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It wasn't TJP. I think he beat TJP last week. But whomever, Xavier Woods. And then last week, Lio Rush celebrated his win over TJP, and Hideo Itami was standing on the entrance ramp. Now it seems that Itami has almost gone to TJP and has been like, you want a bit of revenge? Work with me and you'll get it. It seems as if Rush has found a little bit of assistance in Drago to help him out here. Very interesting ideas from Itami we're seeing. It's almost like he's playing some sort of mind games right now with the champion. Same as the women's division, the match has not been confirmed for NXT TakeOver, but much in the same breath as the women's division, I don't know if there's another challenger right now. Itami has been doing his best to get under Rush's skin, or to get in the head of Lio Rush. It may well be the case there could be other challengers lined up, like, say, an Ishii, a Miz, a Lethal, a Brody King, for example. But it could well be the case that none of that exists in the mind of Lio Rush. Maybe even after tonight, all that exists in the mind of Rush could be Hideo Itami. And you've got to give credit to Itami where it's due. He's made a statement since turning his back on Kushida. Yes, Kushida next week is going to be fighting for the ECW Cruiserweight Championship. But Hideo Itami in NXT has made more of a statement. He beat Kushida at TakeOver New Orleans. Now he stands a chance, from the looks of things, on at least from the seams of it, of going into TakeOver Chicago and challenging for the NXT Global Championship. It could happen. Could, well, happen. We just have to find out, is the honest truth. It could be confirmed here tonight. All it takes is Hideo Itami pinning Lio Rush 1, 2, 3 in this tag team matchup. There's your match confirmed. There is the champion himself, as he has been for 6 months. The second longest reigning champion currently in this universe. Of course, behind Seth Rollins as current champions. Lio Rush, good bit of confidence as he heads towards the ring right now, as he always has. I said about how these months with the title have been a growing experience for Lio Rush, how much he's learned, how much he's developed. I think Rush, pre-title Rush, wouldn't have taken too kindly to Hideo Itami's mind games. I think he would have cracked already. I think he would have succumbed to the attempts of Hideo Itami. But with that title, he's matured, he's wiser, he's smarter. And I like that about Lio Rush now. I like that a lot more. He's still got that natural confidence that he's always had going for him. He's the man of the hour for a reason. He's always had that little bit of natural arrogance going for him. But it seems as if now he's almost turned most of that arrogance into a positive confidence. You know, it's like he's used it in a good manner, which I'm glad to see. But the important thing will be to see if he can do anything about using it in this matchup. Itami will be watching on the other side. Itami's got his own mindset, of course. He doesn't care about your confidence or your arrogance. Everyone should respect him. So it's going to be Drago starting things off against TJP here, the main talking point in this match, looking from the other sides of the ring. And so here we go. TJP in early control right now. Nicely done. Attacking Drago there. Wrap the arm around the neck. Hit that neck breaker. High kick there. Only seemed to stagger Drago a little bit. Brainbuster, though, will do more than stagger him as his head goes down into the mat. In the gut there. Drago now turning things around a little bit. Nicely done here. Good stuff. Forearm in the face. TJP responds by sending Drago into the turnbuckle. Here we go. Tag man into Hideo Itami. You've got the man who you want to face for the title in the same match as you. You might as well do all you can to send a statement to him right now. Look at this though. Drago quick to respond. Handstand, head scissors, and oh, taking a page out of TJP's book by absolutely killing me inside with a dab. Excellent. In the turnbuckle we go. Tag is made, and here we go. We're going to get to see it. Lio Rush, the legal man in this tag match now. Rush and Itami going to lock horns for the first time ever since Itami started trying to get under the skin of Lio Rush. In the ring we are now. Itami, German suplex. Got all of that one. And just disrespecting Lio Rush. No surprise on that one at all. Let's see what'll happen now. Out on the apron. Rush could be in trouble. Good forearm in the face. Rush goes flying in. Head scissors takedown. Beautiful move there from the champion. But Itami quick to respond, kicks him right in the gut. Look at that now. Good few kicks in the head. And oh, didn't call upon TJP, who had the rope brought down for Rush to go over, just doing things his own way there. Itami had the lion's share of offense in that one. Tag made, now here comes TJP, and exactly the same move we saw from the other side of things being done. TJP now the legal man, chance for revenge for last week. He's kind of soaking in the arrogance of his own. Let's see what will happen right now though. Rush getting back up to his feet and getting back into this matchup. He's had his meeting with Hideo Itami, and he lets Drago come back in now. Nice work there. Good double team. Step up in Zaguri, down goes TJP. You saw him trying to stay up on his feet, but it wasn't happening. Oh, big time! Spike DDT there That's not going to do your head any favors. TJP in trouble. Oh no, don't do it again. Don't do it again. No, don't do it. Oh, he's done it again. Well, it was nice to have hope. Here we go now. Lovely standing moonsault though from Drago. Caught all of that one. Thrust kick into the gut. Irish up into the turnbuckle now. Tagging him into Itami again. Drago denies it. Sends him out of the turnbuckle. Good work there from Drago. Rush getting involved a little bit there. We're going to see now. Big elbow. Drago getting a run up. Round the corner. Round the ring pole. 619. Oh my goodness. That was sensational. And again, this time I'm going to go up over to the outside. Counter by Drago. Sunset flip. Sunset flip. Itami not going to bother getting in the ring. Cover made. Drago won it. Drago has won it with the sunset flip. Victory for Drago and the champion. But I think the key talking point to take out of this match is not the victory for Drago and Rush, but what happened in the ring between Itami and Rush. Itami had his number. If this match is going to happen, if we're going to be seeing these two men clashing, it's advantage Itami right now. But it's Rush who walks out with the win. Nevertheless, we move on here on NXT. Coming up next this evening, it is time to hear from a man who is on even playing fields when it comes to him and his opponent to take over Chicago. We hear from the #1 contender to the NXT Championship, Jeff Cobb, up next. In the ring stands Jeff Cobb, the ring where 1 week ago he became the #1 contender and the first man to challenge for Brian Cage's NXT Championship. Cobb reminding us of last week's win, saying that it's all running through him once again. It was a moment that he doesn't forget. A moment that got him to take over, to the NXT title, and more importantly, to Brian Cage, to the Machine, to the champion. And Cobb is, he's pretty right. They aren't far apart. They're both pretty big, they're both pretty heavy, and they can both beat anyone up. And Cobb likes that about Cage. He knows he's not going to try and steal a win. He knows he's not going to try and play dirty. He knows that come TakeOver Chicago, they're going to have to stand face to face with one another and beat the other one down. Cobb wants a fight with Cage, and I'll be honest, he's absolutely going to get one. Oh, some fighting talk there from the challenger, saying that he's been able to use his power to his advantage, but not anymore. It's an even playing field come TakeOver Chicago. He's not scared of what Cage will do to him because he'll do the same back. He plans on breaking the Machine and leaving as the NXT champion. Jeff Cobb will not back down for Brian Cage. He's not intimidated by Brian Cage. Come TakeOver Chicago, we're in for a horse fight for the NXT championship, and I can't wait. So here we go now. We move on with our second women's matchup of the evening. Rhea Ripley to go one-on-one against Toni Storm. And I wonder how much more Rhea Ripley can go without getting it confirmed that she's facing the Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver. Remember, Ripley said, you know, she's a member of Trifecta, and of course we know the Trifecta, they're on the main roster. Tessa Blanchard's fighting at the Bash this Sunday, with a chance to go to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match on the line. But Ripley said she was staying down in NXT and that she was going to do her best to ensure that she continued on Trifecta's legacy. And by doing that, she is going to recapture the NXT Women's Championship, saying that the war had only begun between Trifecta and Shirai after TakeOver New Orleans. And like I said, if that's the way it's going to be, then Ripley, and like I said, if she's gone to pretty much everyone, Ripley should be the #1 contender right now. If I was in charge of this brand, I would have confirmed it a week ago. I would have said, yep, no one else, go for it. Baslzer and Storm want to punch lights out of one another. I'm sold. go with Ripley and Shirai. Well, we know for certain one match that is happening at TakeOver, and that is Toni Storm and Shayna Baslzer. They will punch the lights out of one another. Toni Storm, though, getting an opportunity here to fight the pretty much unconfirmed number one contender to the NXT Women's Championship. She's ready for this one. It's a huge match for Toni Storm as well. Of course, you got to remember, Storm, she put her hopes on the line at TakeOver Philadelphia when she said to Tessa Blanchard, if I lose to you, I won't challenge for the title so long as you hold it. But Blanchard isn't the champion anymore. Shirai is. It's fair game for Toni Storm to now challenge for that NXT Women's Championship, and she could throw a cog into the works of Io Shirai looking to challenge, sorry, not Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley looking to challenge for that title by winning here tonight. So here we go, out of the gates comes Rhea Ripley, hard clothesline to Storm. In the early get-goes. The fight is on between these two women. They've met in the past, and they are trading with one another right there. It's now Storm's turn to take Ripley off her feet with that flying forearm. I like a good fight. You know that. If you're a fan of this universe, you know I like a good fight. I had a pretty good verbal fight last night on ECW. Questions surrounding that, don't worry, I'll clarify them next week on NXT. There is a lot I have to clear, and I will do my best to clear it. Don't worry, I'm in a pretty good mood though after last night's NXT. Obviously not with what happened to the fan. That was a complete tragedy. Thankfully the fan is okay. Everything's alright with that. Cena is a bit sketchy right now, but hey, at least next week we have no Clockwork Project to worry about. Anyway, that's it's not my duty to talk about ECW right now. It's my duty to talk about NXT. I'm not here as a general manager. I'm here as a commentator. Sweeping the leg away. There is Rhea Ripley. In the turnbuckle. Oh, thrust kick there by Ripley. Nice counter. Storm in a bit of trouble. More like a lot of trouble as she's German suplexed across the ring, more or less, by Ripley. Huge power from the latest member of Trifecta. And you have to question, if Ripley is successful, could it be a case where after TakeOver Chicago, she goes up to the main roster holding that NXT Women's Championship, she joins Trifecta and puts NXT in a huge state of jeopardy where their Women's Champion would rather be on Monday Night Raw with her group than be on NXT with her title. That is all guesswork right now, however, and once again, I'm still speculating for a match that might not happen. Toni Storm, as I said, could throw a huge cog in the works. Someone else could. Maybe next week we could get Io Shirai versus Iwatani, and Iwatani could walk out with a win. Well, then there's no title opportunity for Ripley then. It's Iwatani versus Shirai. But, like I said, in my mind, this should be Ripley versus Shirai. Back suplex. Spin out again from Rhea Ripley there, taking care of business right now. Good counter though by Toni Storm. And nice work there. Using Ripley's own weight and momentum and offense against her, driving herself into the mat. And now driving her head into the turnbuckle. It's not going to be once, it's going to be many times. 10 of them, in fact. As Ripley comes staggering out of the corner. Storm going after that arm once again. Hurting it down right now as she stands right in the forearm. You gotta imagine extended like that. May even be tensed. That's going to do a lot more damage. That's really going to sting. Into the cover goes Toni Storm after. Looking to put away Rhea Ripley. Kick at it too. A little bit of the same as what we saw with Baslzer earlier on, where she was attacking the arm of Io Shirai. Look out now. Snap. German suplex. Cover made in the ropes though. Toni Storm looking to take advantage. But wait! Oh! Through the crowd. Through the crowd came Mercedes Martinez with a steel chair to Toni Storm. And again, Fisherman suplex connects. Martinez stands tall over Storm. Once again, a beatdown before takeover for Storm to endure. Oh my goodness. Things are getting heated on those sides, but it's time for our main event of the evening that we have to focus on now. Who will Pentagon Jr. have to face here tonight? Sweet Jesus. You could hear and see the volatility behind those chair shots from Mercedes Martinez. Storm, it was like that chair shot went across her head and the lights just went out. There was nothing in Toni's Storm. Ripley, as you saw, on the outside, and maybe unintentionally given a saving grace by Mercedes Martinez. Well, we'll see how things will continue to develop as the weeks go on. 2 more NXT shows to come after this one, and then it's TakeOver Chicago. But who is Pentagon Jr. having to fight tonight in the main event? We already saw how things went for Noam Dar at the start of the evening. Defeat to Jay Lethal. And I wonder, who will Pentagon Jr. have to endure? I think if Dar had Lethal, Pentagon's going to get someone to that level. Maybe Ishii. Just for fun. Oh, come on. Pentagon Jr. and Ishii, tell me that wouldn't be a fun match. Just picture in your head right now, 2 guys loading up their forearms and just hitting each other with forearms for, say, 6-7 minutes. I'd watch that. The Pentagon Jr. is about to find out who it is in just a moment. He stands in the ring, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. Oh, boy. And he's going to have to do battle with the NXT Champion himself. With the machine, Brian Cage. This is going to be big. This is going to be huge. I love it. Cage versus Pentagon is your main event this evening. Brian Cage coming out without the NXT Championship once again. I don't know if there's mind games involved in that. Maybe telling Cobb, don't focus on the title, focus on me when you watch this match. I don't know. I certainly have not made any attempts to try and get close with Brian Cage. It's definitely not up my alleyway, let's be real. But Brian Cage here tonight is the opponent. It's champion versus champion in tonight's main event. Pentagon Jr., Brian Cage. My mouth is frothing. Oh, good God, they're going to beat each other up here and then some. I am excited for this one. I said it was going to have to be a big opponent if Noam Dar had Jay Lethal. I didn't think it would be the biggest opponent that NXT had to offer in the champion itself. But that's the way the cookie has crumbled in tonight's main event. That's the way things have gone for Pentagon Jr. No Matt Hardy at ringside either, but it could be, and going by statistics, it probably will be a repeat of what we saw earlier on the evening. Brian Cage, undefeated since arriving to NXT. Everyone who stepped up in his path has gone down. Will Pentagon Jr. be another name on that list as this matchup gets underway now? Collar and elbow wrestling between both sides. Working over the arm right now is Brian Cage. Takedown by Pentagon Jr. Whenever he grabs a hold of that arm, you've got to be ready to have it wrenched back as it just was there. Irish whip now into the turnbuckle. Oh no, comes bouncing out of it. Sling blade though by Pentagon Jr. Nicely done indeed. Goes up to the top rope early on. Looking to leave an impact on Cage in the early stages. Elbow drop into the back. Pentagon Jr., I think he knows. I think he has a game plan for trying to beat Brian Cage here. Just go all out, essentially. Balls to the wall and hope something sticks. It's a smart mentality. But it's one that Cage can do just as well as you. Oh, God. Delayed. Vertical. One-armed suplex from the champion. Pentagon Jr. was just hanging up in the air. Overhand punch though by Pentagon Jr. Quick to fight back. Quick to bounce back almost right away. Look for... Oh, good counter attempt by Cage there. Met with a kick in the chest though by Pentagon Jr. Looks for a drop kick on the way back in and gets met with a sweep away by Brian Cage. Oh, and a big boot right in the face as well. Just been a strike fest so far from these two sides, and I am loving it. Attempted arm drag there, counter, drop toe hold by Pentagon Jr. Caught all of him there. Turns him round. Backstabber by Pentagon Jr. Takes Cage off his feet, goes into the cover again, kick out. This, of course, is a test for the main event of TakeOver as well. Cage knows there's going to be a challenger watching on by the name of Jeff Cobb, and he's going to have a close eye on what Brian Cage will do in this matchup. Cobb is going to be taking notes mentally of what Brian Cage brings to the table. Maybe ways he can slip through the offense where others have failed, like Tyler Bate. In the turnbuckle now. Oh, great evasion by Pentagon Jr. Needed to break out incredible speed, and he did just that. Counter, though, by Brian Cage. Turns around Pentagon Jr. and instantly puts him up on his shoulder like he's nothing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. Cage goes up to the top. Yeah, this could be dire. Oh, now Pentagon Jr. just completely shrugged it off. I think that was a diving headbutt by Cage there, and Pentagon Jr. act like a fly hit him. Oh my, there's the discus lariat though. That's not going to do you any favors. Discus lariat, kick out right early on at 1 though. And Cage can hardly believe it. I think he's put away opponents with that move before. Deadlift, power slam. Oh, sweet Jesus. Cage going to look for the closure to this matchup. Looked to put away Pentagon Jr. Looked for Weapon X. Pentagon had the counter. Up high he goes after sweeping the leg away from Cage. Double foot stomp. Nothing flashy about that one. Just came off the top rope and his feet ready to go into the gut of Cage. And they did just that. Stomping away on the arm now of the big man. Boot is caught, leg swept away. Cage will take the leg in, single leg Boston Crab, middle of the ring. Pentagon Jr. is starting to crawl. It may be easier to make the ropes than to try and get a, I would assume, near 300 plus pound man off you, but Pentagon Jr. able to do just that. Kick in the gut. What could we see here from Pentagon Jr.? Into the armbar, into the armbar. Oh no. Oh, sweet Jesus, no. This is... Oh, no, the arm is going to be... snapped right back! Oh, you can see it! How quickly it snaps! Brian Cage clutching his arm. Pentagon Jr. doesn't feel as if he's done enough, and that's why, because the machine is getting up to his feet almost right away. Double forearms. Cage evades, even with one arm. And look at that, as if to say, you didn't do enough. That arm could be busted and Cage doesn't care. Another delayed vertical suplex. That's how dangerous this man is. You can break his arm and he almost used it as a weapon to beat you up with still. Incredible. Simply sensational. Brian Cage now front face lock. STO into the mat goes Pentagon Jr. The cover is made. Putting him away. Not quite. Pentagon Jr. kicks out at 2. Brian Cage hoped that it was 3. The crowd is loving this matchup. And as am I. Pentagon tried to get back in the bout there, but that just wasn't happening. Chinlock being applied now. Pentagon Jr. in trouble here, I wonder. No, he's fighting his way out of it. Double elbows, escapes. Chop in the chest, blocked. Hit hard, but up and over goes Cage to the outside. Oh, good God. Double foot stomp attempt to the outside. Cage evades. Fairly soft landing. Not entirely, though. Back in the ring we go. Nice kick in the ribs there. Overhand punch as well. Setting up with hard shots here. But quickly taken away. Oh, wow. Pentagon gets in that combo and Brian Cage treats it like it's nothing and then folds Pentagon Jr. inside out with a discus clothesline once more. Cover made after it, and Pentagon Jr. still with plenty of fight and life left in him. He knows he needs this win heading into TakeOver, but Brian Cage may be showing that he needs it more. There's that deadlift power slam again, and only one move awaits Pentagon Jr., and it's not going to be a good one. A move that many have felt before. Weapon X! Could it be the fate of Jeff Cobb come TakeOver? It's the fate of Pentagon tonight, and it's victory for the Machine. The undefeated streak rolls on. I imagine it'll roll on all the way to TakeOver Chicago. But can Jeff Cobb take the belt and the streak away from Brian Cage? Can the new foundation take the titles away from the Broken Brilliance? It's been a bad night for both sides in that tag team bout. But as TakeOver nears, you can feel us strapping in for a big night. Cage, your winner, as we close out another edition of NXT.